Hey there, thank you for tuning in. Sorry if you're a fan, as I haven't uploaded for a bit. I've been pretty overwhelmed with life and school and just kind of fell in a rut. But I hope you enjoyed this video. For starters, I started with another iceberg, finished it, but I ended up not enjoying how it turned out, as a large percentage of the points were either very blatant memes or gibberish that I couldn't find any information on. So hopefully this one does a bit better than that one would. Before we get started, I'd like to say that I will be putting the iceberg in the description if you want to give it a look yourself. And we will be starting with Tier 1, Unknown from 2 Fort. Starting off with Man vs. Machine. It's a very unique 6-player co-op game mode in TF2 that added a ton of lore and a ton of new abilities to the game, like the ability to upgrade your class in it. Initially, it was actually shown to be red plus blue versus gray, but it ended up being red versus blue in the end. Fat Man and His Friends. I'm not sure where this is in reference to. I tried googling it and just found random cosmetics or just furry stuff, so I'm not sure. It sounds like some TF2 meme or a TF2 like animation, so that's my second guess. Heavy is Dead. The Heavy is Dead? Jokes aside, this is an incredibly fun Gmod video made a while back. I still quote this very often. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Playing Pyro is for furries. This is a joke, more likely due to the amount of Pyro mains who are furries, that and how many AWO Pyros exist. You're ugly. This is a line Engineer says, but it's more than likely a reference to a short clip of Engineer saying this to Sniper. The clip originates from, and I'm sorry if I butchered this name, El Toro64 Russ's video. Ubercharge. This is a mechanic exclusive to the meta class. The default Ubercharge gives temporary invincibility to him and his healing target. It can be replaced with crits, improved healing, or just damage reduction against specific types of damage. Scream Fortress. A yearly Halloween event TF2 has in October every year, allowing for the Halloween cosmetics to appear, spells to appear, and etc. We also get typically new maps and a new rotation in the map pool. Renders from TF2 Wiki. I'm not sure what this refers to, maybe the 180 panorama renders of weapons and classes that the wiki has, I don't know. Medic lost his medical license. Beginning of the Meet the Medic starts off with Medic talking about how when the patient woke up, his skeleton was missing, and the doctor was never heard from again. Followed by, anyway, that's how I lost my medical license. So this is just obviously referring to the fact that this is more likely how Medic actually canonically lost his medical license. Pyroland. This is the name of the world that Pyro sees through his goggles. Instead of being the real world, it's a super bright and happy playland. Other classes can also see this by equipping the Pyroland goggles, and if you have a specific weapon for Pyro, you don't have to equip the goggles to see it. AKA the Rainblower, the Lollychop, and I believe that's it. Gentleman. Famous quote from Spy in Meet the Spy is also more than likely a reference to the meme image, or maybe a reference to the song? I'm not sure what specifically this references. Red vs. Blue. The two teams of TF2 are Red, which stands for Reliable, Excavation, Demolition, and Blue, Builders League United, ran by the two Mann brothers. Cartoonish Weapons. I'm not sure what this refers to specifically, either the fact that the weapons all have a cartoonish design to them, or maybe the fact that the Pyroland weapons are blatantly cartoony, or maybe weapons like the Prinny Blade, which are cartoony because they're from a different series. I can't say for sure. Cosmetics. TF2 has an insanely large amount of customization, each class having a large amount of changeable cosmetics that they can wear. I'm guessing this just is as simple as that. Free-to-play versus pay-to-play. In reference to how many premium players despise free-to-plays and how early on free-to-play players were extremely hated and even banned from a lot of servers. Meet the class. TF2 had 9 videos that introduced you to the classes of the game and gave you a feel for the lore and the character's personality and the way the game played. There's technically a 10th one as well, Meet the Sandwich, but I don't really count that since it's more of a joke video, not actually teaching you about one of the classes. Memes. TF2 being as popular and as old as it is, has an insane amount of memes, new and old, Demo Ban, Gentleman, which I mentioned earlier, and etc. The Sandwich. The heavy-handed shotgun replacement named the Sandwich, it's a pretty simple guess that it's a sandwich, but it lets him heal himself or even teammates and enemies. It has multiple replacements as well, like the DeLocos bar, the steak, and the banana. TF2 versus Overwatch. Ever since Overwatch was released, it was called a TF2 killer, quote-unquote, and has since had the communities be in fights over which game is better, which has luckily calmed down significantly in recent times.
Hey there, different mic quality now. I'm editing this right now, and I just realized that could potentially also be a reference to Winglet's videos about TF2 versus Overwatch. So I'll put that on screen now. It could be a reference to that, or it could just be a reference to what I was saying earlier.
Gmod and SFM. Gmod is a mod of Half-Life 2 that allows users to create custom scenes using characters from many Source games and many other games and shows. SFM is an official tool by Valve that serves a similar purpose. It's made more for creating animated shorts, movies, and it's what they use on all their TF2 videos. Kozowski Kick. One of the most popular taunts in TF2 that's available for all classes is cause them to start doing a Hopak dance. References to other franchises. TF2 has a lot of references to famous movies, shows, games, some being official crossovers, other being homages, one official being the Printy Blade, an official crossover item, and another being the Plumber's Cap, which is a homage to Mario. Now we're going down to Tier 2, free-to-play in training mode. Steam Summer Sale Price. This is a reference to how every summer Steam has an extensive sale of games. TF2 usually gets discounts in the Manco store as well. Rocket and Sticky Jumping. Soldier and Demoman both have the ability to use their explosives to propel themselves forward into the air, allowing them to make distance easily. Friendlies. Some players, typically heavies, will go friendly and refuse to attack other players, just walking around, sitting around cutely. A lot of players hate them, but I think they're fine. NECA. Company that creates high-quality action figures. They created figures of all the TF2 classes and also a rare Robo Heavy and Robo Pyro. I actually have the Blue Angie, Red, Sniper, Medic, and Spy. Subclass. This is a reference to how some classes have alternative playstyles and involve them playing completely different usually. Example would be Fat Scout, Demo Knight, and so on. Sniper Scar. You meet the Spy, Sniper gets swiped by Spy's knife. After the update, they added this as a scar in his model permanently. Weapon reskins. Many weapons, mostly base weapons, have reskins that function identically and have a new fancy look. My favorite is a Shooting Star, which is a reskin of the Machina. Golden Frying Pan. Ilium added a specific drop in the paid mode that is, as simple as it sounds, a golden frying pan. It's extremely rare to drop and thus extremely expensive. CTF2 Fort, a flawed but fan-favorite map that has many servers that run at 24/7. Ghost of Zepheniah Mann. He's the father of Red and Blue's founders. His ghost is the ghost that haunts the Halloween maps. It's the one that if you approach it, it yells boo and scares the player. Engineering Gaming. This was a meme made by the community that is still extremely popular, with a VTuber even spawning from it. Cat Pyro. Many people do OWO Pyros or Cat Pyros. This is also what the furry equals Pyro part refers to. Thriller Taunt. During Halloween, every class will have a chance to do a thriller dance instead of their normal taunt while taunting. Jarati. SMG replacement for the Sniper, which is a yellow liquid he creates in jars himself. He can throw it on enemies for him and his teammates to mini-crit them, and for them to also be revealed if they're a spy. Kitty0706. A Gmod creator who sadly passed away. He created many TF2 videos that were famous, like Team Fabulous 2. Exploits. Many exploits have existed and will continue to be found that are used to abuse mechanic or feature in a game to get an unexpected feature. Many of these Delphi abuses and brings them to light. Aimbot Types. Multiple types of aimbots exist, either being players cheating or simple bots. You could also probably put the normal game bots in here because they have their own form of aimbotting. BAP. One of the engineer's lines for swinging his melee weapon became a meme as well. Eggshell2.exe. The name of TF2's executable file. This comes from it being made from the Source engine, which uses this as a default name because of Half-Life 2. Spycrap. A famous meme that originated from Spy holding his disguise kit up into the air while crouching, resembling a crab. became popular enough that Valve actually made the Disguise Kit have a chance for Spy to do a crab taunt when you taunted with it. Tryhard. Word used to describe players who are trying particularly hard to win a casual match, or use to insult others by angry players. Heavy update. Many people figure this will be the next major update, as initially the versus battle was Heavy versus Pyro. Pyro won, so many expect the next update to be dedicated to Heavy. We've got no word on it yet, though. Gamemodes and Maps. TF2 has many game modes which can be drastically different from each other and change the way the game's played, and many maps can change how even the game modes are played. Made by the community. Many, basically all modern updates are items, maps, and etc. made by the community, which Valve then imports into the game. Putis. Famous meme originating from Heavy's Need a Dispenser here line, having him state, "Put dispenser here." Putis is usually associated with friendly heavies. Domains.tf. I think this is a reference to how basically every major TF2 website that's community driven has the .tf domain, aka scrap.tf, backpack.tf, and etc. Moving on to Tier 3, Common Soldier from Dust Bowl. Let's make some noise. This is a voice line that red tape recordables state when you set up a building, however it's extremely sped up in game. The 10th class. There's been multiple theoretical 10th classes, including the Civilian, a scrapped class from an early game mode, the Commander, basically the announcer but a player controlled them, and a ton of fan ideas, including Miss Pauline being the 10th class. German version. Due to the laws back when TF2 came out, the German version was heavily censored. This involved low violence being enabled at all times, and the Mercs basically being robots in that mode. Arena mode. This is a game mode that is rarely played in TF2, where it's a team versus team game mode where deaths are until the next round, causing it to be a last man standing type of game mode. Crithcast contest. Crithcast had a contest ages ago to win free items from Valve by guessing what Demo Man's drunk ramblings were in the Meet the Demo video. Merchandise with codes. There's been tons of physical TF2 merchandise that comes with codes. One that was actively being sold is the Spy Crab, but of the ones like figures or even a limited edition Comic-Con one like the Robo Sandwich, those had codes as well, but they're not available anymore, besides third-party resellers. Open Fortress and TF2 Classic. These are two fan-made mods that are standalone TF2 experiences. Open Fortress is more Quake-like, and TF2 Classic is trying to capture TF2's original vision. TR Walkway. This is a community-made map that you can download to help you train your aim. It has tons of Easter eggs, but it's mostly made to help you train specific damage, aiming, and all that stuff. Random crits. Dealing damage in TF2 gives you a higher chance to randomly crit an opponent. These are hated or loved. I'm personally on the remove random crit side. TF2 Beta. TF2's beta had a lot of changes, such as initially having grenades, unused engineer buildings, etc. It also had an open beta that let them test weapons on public servers. Weapon like the Jag came from this. Real name of the mercenaries. Many of the mercenaries have official names. Scout's first name is Jeremy. Soldier has his name as Mr. Jane Doe, but that's not known if it's real or not. Demo Man is, Tavish Finnegan de Groot. Heavy is Misha. Engineer is Dale Conager. Medic is Dr. Ludwig, and Sniper is Mr. Mundy. Orange Box. TF2 initially came out in a bundle by Valve that is called the Orange Box. It contained Half-Life 2, TF2, and Portal, but was later updated to also include the other two Half-Life 2 episodes. Sprays as a technique or a trap. Some players will use not safe for work sprays to trick players to look at it to get distracted and thus easily killed, or some use it to make fake snipers or sentries to trick players from afar. Extra techniques. TF2 has several techniques you can learn from experience, such as killing players by teleporting on top of them, sentry jumping, taunt kills, trick stabs, and tripping. Crouch jump. Jumping and crouching in midair gives you a bit more distance vertically, allowing you to make jumps typically impossible to make. Man economy. This was a massive update that added trading, the store, and also tons of new items. Golden Ranch. During the engineer update, players crafting items had a chance to receive a golden ranch. 100 were available, and every 25 released another part of the NG update. Many players have deleted theirs for charity events. Civilian. As said earlier, this was an unused class. It originated from Team Fortress Classic, where it was a game mode where one team would escort the civilian, and the other team would try to kill it. The civilian could only melee attack, and the entire goal was to prevent him from dying. Play Dead. I think this is a reference to Spy from Team Fortress Classic. In Team Fortress Classic, Spy didn't have a cloak as he does now. Instead, he had the ability to feign death and be a corpse on the ground. However, this was really flawed because he couldn't move around, and if anyone walked by a corpse, they would usually just shoot it because of the Spy, and if he was the corpse, it would just kill him. Next up, Tier 4, Veteran from the Battle. Ingredients of Bonk. Bonk and Criticola both have water, radiation, and sugar as listed ingredients. Team Fortress 1800s. In the 1800s, the original mercenaries were Billy the Kid, Stonewall Jackson, Abraham Lincoln, Alfred Nobel, John Henry, Nikola Tesla, Sigmund Freud, Davy Crockett, and Fu Manchu. Team Fortress Classic. This refers to the original Team Fortress game and the mercenaries from it. TF2 Brotherhood of Arms. TF2 originally was going to follow the design that TFC had, being more gritty and realistic. This was in development hell and eventually scrapped and turned into the game we have now. Quake mod. Team Fortress originated as a multiplayer mod for Quake. It was later picked up by Valve to be ported for Gold Source. Gabe Brony. Gabe Newell back in 2012 said in an interview that he was a brony. Honestly confused, I didn't hear about this till now. Parody of historical figures. I think this is in reference to the earlier part where the original mercenaries were historical figures. I'm not sure though. Scout and Archimedes. At the end of Meet the Medic, it's revealed Archimedes was trapped inside Scout's chest. This is referenced in a game where Gip Scouts have a chance for a dove to fly away from their Gips. Scout is the gift of God. When Scout dies in the comics, he sees himself in heaven and is told by God that he's a gift to the women of Earth. New Zealand underwater. In TF2, New Zealand is underwater due to Sniper's birth father proposing that the country must be sent underwater. PhD of Heavy and Engineer. Heavy has a PhD in Russian literature, and Engineer has 11 quote-unquote hard science ones. Pyro is a businessman. In the Ring of Fire comic, Pyro is shown to become a CEO of a company. Tom Jones. Tom Jones is a famous singer. Scout believed that he is his father. Concept art of Pyro's face. Early concept art had an early version of Pyro with their face shown. Merasmus' special pills. Merasmus has Kill Me Come Back Stronger pills in the comics that Pyro ate all of as he mistook them for heart medication. Medigun's creation. In the original script of Meet the Medic, it's shown how the Medigun was created, showing him reviving the spy's head, which we later see in the fridge in the finished version. Final combat. A Chinese bootleg of Team Fortress 2. Anna meets a Heavy. An incredibly sad 4chan tale of a TF2 player meeting someone who enjoyed playing Heavy a lot. I will leave it at that. If you want to be sad, read it yourself. Concept art for female characters. I think this is in reference to how one artist designed a bunch of TF2 classes as women. I don't know. I couldn't find any official concept art of the classes being women, but maybe there's something that I missed. Heavy in the Gulag. As punishment for Heavy father being a quote-unquote counter-revolutionary, Heavy and his mother and sisters were sent to the Gulag. The Gulag was destroyed the same year. Continue on to Tier 5, Explorer from Asteroid. Tip of the Hats, a recurring charity event that benefits children suffering from cancer. Fortress Forever. This is a fan-made source mod that aims to recreate the original playstyle of TFC with modern, at the time, graphics. Cancelled animated show for Adult Swim. Expiration date was actually supposed to be part of the planned Adult Swim show, however it got canned since Valve couldn't meet deadlines. Secret Rooms and Maps. TF2's many secrets hidden in the maps. One famous one was in the Doomsday map. You could find a hint of the then unannounced game mode in VM. Administrator's artist design. I believe this is in reference to the artist Makani being the fan who created the design that stuck for the administrator. Harassment to the players. I'm not sure what this is in reference to, maybe griefing, but it doesn't really give me a lot to work off of. 3 members of the TF2 team. This is a running meme that TF2 only has 2 to 3 people working on it, including a potted plant. Landover Baptist Church. Landover Baptist Church was a group created by 4chan as a meme. A user on it made a post about how bad TF2 was for children and how it promotes homosexuality. Not safe for work ads on adult websites. I believe this is a reference to how some ads were found to use mispalling SFM animations on them. I obviously can't show this. TF2 Invasion build. TF2, after they ditched the TFC vibe, was originally going to be humans versus aliens, and was going to be called Invasion. I don't believe a build of this ever existed, it was just a concept phase. Valve's Twilight Sparkle. This was a wave of bots that, if I remember right, would spam slurs and other obscenities in chat and advertise Lament box. Dr. Face, YouTuber who used to make TF2 Gmod videos. Unused Grenades. TF2 was originally going to have grenades like TFC did, however this was scrapped. Every class has grenade models in the game's files, however. Spy is the result of a glitch. Spy's ability to disguise originates from a glitch in Quake Fortress where some players would appear as if they were on the enemy team. The developers liked this and made it a feature. Valve's Team Fortress, original name of the planned sequel to TFC. JM. I believe this is a reference to the Freight map where you can find JM hidden on the map, which is a reference to the creator's initials. Jerma985 inspired the Scout. I'm just gonna guess this is a meme suggesting Jerma inspired the design or voice of the Scout. Fake Australian. Either a reference to the Fool's Australian fan-made warpaint, or mods that turn non-Australians into Australians visually. I'm not sure though. Magnum Force main theme. I think this is in reference to how the Magnum Force song from Meet the Sniper originates from the film of the same name. And next, Tier 6, Event from Unusual Aspect. Great Depression 2019. This was a bug that caused certain chests to give a 100% unusual drop rate. Valve fixed it and ended up making it so the first unusual human box was fine, every other one became untradeable though. Cheater's Lament. When item drops were added, an external program would let you idle without running TF2. This was patched and users who did not abuse it were given a Halo cosmetic. This was hated by users who did abuse it, and mods even existed to mock users who used it by changing the hat to say a slur instead. Cosmetics and Imminent Extinction. I can't find what Imminent Extinction is, so I'm not sure. Beta version of Meet the Class. I think this is in reference to beta variants of Meet the Classes existing. I can't find any info on them. I know there's deleted scenes of Meet the Medic, but that's it. It could also refer to the initial demonstration videos of the beta classes, which was beta, but it wasn't really a Meet the Class, so I'm not sure. Sourcecode Leak of 2020. In 2020, the source code of TF2 from the Jungle Inferno update was leaked online. It worried a lot of people, but didn't seem to lead anything negative, and has actually led to a fan project to overhaul performance using this code. Mecha Apparently, this was a spy main YouTuber who was unveiled to be a child predator. Devs comment in spaghetti code. This is a reference to how in the source code leak you could see disgruntled devs being agitated or confused to problems that would arise when coding that they couldn't solve. Notch Hat. Notch has his own one-of-a-kind hat called the Top Notch. A developer has joked that it increases damage he takes as a reason to have given it to him. Geel, the owner of Scrap and Backpack.tf. Scream Bloody Fortress, an extremely well-made fan SFM that was dedicated to Scream Fortress. It actually went under the radar for a while, I'm pretty sure, but it's extremely well-made and high quality. Cancel Gamemodes and Maps. As far as I can find about anything specific, there was a cancel prototype for MVM called Raid, one called Bounty where you place bounties on others, a map called Cloak, but it was mostly a test map, also the game mode for Civilian, and probably also Asteroid, and I think the one called Cactus Field or something like that, but I'm not sure besides that. Valve Twilight Sparkle. I've covered this already, guessing this was a mistake on the Iceberg's part. Self-made and community item qualities. Self-made is a rarity given to players who create items that get into TF2. They get a self-made variant of said item. Community is given to players who significantly help the community in Valve's eyes. Weapons with Valve quality. Valve employees can get Valve quality weapons, an example being a Valve rocket launcher. Skekchek's death. Skekchek was a famous Pyro player who had tons of cool tricks. He reportedly died and then later came out and apologized for faking his own death. And finally, Tier 7, Discreet Conspirator. For this one, I'm going to pick and choose. I'm not going to do a bunch of them because most of them are just creepypasta ones, joke ones, and etc. So I'll go over a few, but don't expect this to go into full detail about all of them. The rocket and sticky jump was an accident. I believe this is a reference to how rocket jumps weren't seemingly intended, but players used propulsion as a benefit, which Valve worked with. Bots created by rival companies. Probably a theory that companies like Blizzard are responsible for the bot problem, highly unlikely as this would have been well known if true. Scout suffered the bite of 87. Reference to the FNAF bite of 87. Scout died in 1987, so fans jokingly put 2 and 2 together, though this does actually sound like how Scout would die. Idling program of Drunken Fool. This was the idling program that was referenced in the Cheater's Lament part. Clues of MVM and many maps. Maps, like Doomsday, had references to MVM before it came out. Even a trailer for the Angie update showed a robot head in the background. Electoral fraud and war and the meat update. Theory that sides in the war and meat fights cheated to some degree, but it can't be proven, I doubt. Pyro's secret identity. In regards to how Pyro's true identity has never been revealed, nor will ever, probably. Unused weapons in the game's code. This refers to the large amount of unused weapons or attributes of weapons hidden in the game's code unused. If you guys ever want me to make a video about this, please let me know. Infected sprays. Apparently there was a exploit where sprays could contain malware. I can't find any proof of it, so it's probably just nothing. Artifact and Half-Life Alyx delayed TF2's updates. This was a thought that Artifact and Alyx caused TF2 updates to be delayed, but this seems to not be the case since we still haven't gotten any major updates since. And that'll be it for now. Like I said, I did skip a lot of Tier 7, so if you want to see it, be sure to look in the description to see the full image. Most of them are just creepypastas, like the whole Mario 64 is personalized, stuff like that, so I didn't really see it worth investing time into to go over. If you guys want me to, let me know and I'll make a video about them. But thank you very much for watching. If you made it to the end of the video, be sure to like, favorite, and subscribe. If you want to see more content like this, let me know. I love these icebergs, so making this was actually really fun, and I did enjoy it a lot. So if you want to see more icebergs, let me know. If you want to see more gameplay, let me know. And, as always, be safe out there, guys. See ya.